You ever seen one of those old boxing highlights where a guy gets knocked down in the 4th round and the crowd gasps and the announcers just start questioning him? Hey, is he washed? Has he lost a step? Maybe he was never even that good to begin with. And then 3 rounds later, boom, he's standing over the guy, gloves raised, and everyone forgets how quick they were to doubt him. So this Georgia team feels like in 2025. Yeah, they got dinged up last year, banged up, bruised a little bit, but they made the playoff anyways. And now all I see are people writing them off. Gunner Stockton's the quarterback. They lost too many draft picks last year. Kirby's defense is just not going to be the same. I don't think that's what we should be doing with this Georgia group. In fact, they didn't fall off. They fell apart last year, literally. They were one of the most injury-plagued teams in the entire playoff field last year, and they were still the 2 seed. So if you're telling me they're going to be healthy this fall, if you're telling me that the backfield's loaded and the receivers are some of the best that Kirby Smart has had, and the quarterback is settled into his position, college football better watch out. We better pray that the Dogs aren't for real. Because here's what people forget. Georgia didn't underachieve last year. They got gutted. Carson Beck looked like he found a little bit of a rhythm to end the year, and then he got knocked out of the SEC championship game on the last play of the first half. Got Tommy John surgery, season's over, he's over to Miami now. Gunner Stockton had to take over in the playoff run, but that wasn't the only issue. The running back room was thin throughout the year. The offensive line had to shuffle weekly. Arian Smith, who was their fastest receiver, was never really 100%. He led the team in drops. The defense rotated freshmen and sophomores because of attrition. The numbers back this up too. If you use Bill Connolly's metric, Georgia ranked 99th in the country in lineup consistency. Of all the 12 teams that made the college football playoff last year, that puts them in last in that regard. So if that injury luck flips the other way for this season, I think this is a roster that very much has national championship ceiling potential. Let's talk about this offense because I think it's very undervalued. At running back, you have Nate Frazier, who's back after a pretty good season with nearly 700 yards on the ground and 8 touchdowns as a freshman. He's got vision, balance, and he's a home run threat. You bring in a Josh McCray from Illinois, 235-pound bruiser. He's SEC ready. Scored 10 touchdowns last year. He was the Citrus Bowl MVP. I think that he provides a nice thunder and lightning tandem to give them a really dangerous backfield duo. Now at the receiver spot, we're not talking about them nearly enough. Zachariah Branch transfers in from USC. He's one of the most electric players in the country, and it felt like after his freshman season, we were putting him on a pedestal of what we were kind of doing for Jeremiah Smith now. Now, he's not nearly as talented, that's not what I'm saying, but I just remember him being super hyped because of the way you can use him as a slot, as a returner, motion man, jet sweep. You name it, he can be that for you as a playmaker. So bring in Noah Thomas from Texas A&M, who adds vertical size, a red zone presence. This looks like Georgia's wide receiver room is the deepest it has been, probably since I think 2021. Then you got Gunner Stockton. He's not a freshman trying to figure out. This is a 4th-year guy, a redshirt junior, who's already started in the SEC championship game. He's played a playoff game. And he doesn't have to be elite. He just has to distribute, hit the open man, manage the offense, stay healthy. And with this support system around him, I think that's enough to win a national title. But what I know about Kirby Smart is that he's going to have a good defense. Let's go ahead and address it, though. They lost a lot of stars from last year's defense. Michael Williams, gone. Jalen Walker, gone. Malachi Starks, gone. Georgia doesn't do rebuilds. They reload and then they refocus. Kristen Miller anchors the defensive front. I like him a lot. Elijah Griffin's a 5-star freshman that's going to get some run. He's going to be the next great defensive lineman in the Kirby Smart system. Chris Cole's back after an all-freshman SEC season at linebacker. So it's a young group. They have some experience in spots, but over half the roster is freshmen, sophomores. I think that's exactly how Kirby likes it, and they're going to be talented. At SEC Media Days, he said this.
You can say what you want, but there's people more in college football today, especially in the SEC, that are comfortable with where they are. This is a pretty good life. I'm earning $200K a year. I'm very comfortable. And you don't reach your goals being comfortable. You don't attain great success. What you see now is like, where's the drive and energy and enthusiasm? Well, we want people that have it. We're going to seek it. We're going to try to go find it. And if we can just do that 1% better than everybody else, gives us an opportunity to be ahead.
Now, that's not a coach that's clinging to the past. That's a man that's chasing more. And when Kirby Smart's chasing something with a young group, a hungry group, and they're not comfortable, I'm going to bet on that defense more often than not. I trust Kirby, and he's earned it. But let's talk path. Week 3, they go at Tennessee, and you know Neyland's going to be rowdy. Week 5, Alabama comes to Athens. And then Week 12, Texas visits, where you get an Arch Manning versus Gunner Stockton battle. Those 3 games present a gauntlet, but here's the thing. 2 of the 3 are in Stanford. I think the 2 biggest games are in Stanford of the whole season. You got a Florida game, too, that's pretty big. Georgia hasn't lost a game at Stanford since before the pandemic. And Vegas sees this, too. They have plus 650 national title odds right now, plus 300 to win the SEC, and they're a near lock to make the college football playoff at minus 280. And with the win total set at 9.5 at the over juiced, Vegas is pretty much saying if they handle business at home, 10-2 honestly feels like the floor. And if they stay healthy, you could be looking at a 12-0 regular season and another trip to Atlanta. So here's where we stand. The stars from the title runs are gone. The quarterback is newish. The defense is full of first and second year players, but I don't think any of that matters if you know what Georgia really is. This is a team with a head coach who wakes up every day uncomfortable, a program that recruits to a standard, not just a depth chart. And they have a culture that's built around hunger, not hype. And if you put all of that together, and Georgia doesn't have that target on its back anymore, I think you're going to look at a little bit of a different Georgia group, one with drive, energy, enthusiasm. That's what Kirby said, and that's the kind of team that I think this looks like. And if Georgia stays healthy, college football better watch out. The Dawgs, they're not just going to go away. If you like these kind of videos, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe for more college football content, and I'll see you around.